going live. We're on YouTube live at the moment.
Hi.
Oh, it's okay. We're just going live. And I think we might
Oh,
already be.
are we
Yes.
live? Okay.
I'm sorry. I just thought it was 8 o'clock and I needed to go live. I just sent you a message to say that. But anyway, hello
So,
everyone. Welcome.
hi. I might need to quickly check the dog's barking.
I can't hear it. I can't hear it. It must be okay. I can't hear it. But if you
No,
need to go and check on them, that's all good.
yeah, I'll be back in like 1 minute, so you can talk while I'm gone.
Of course, of course. Hello, everyone. Hey, welcome again. And thank you for joining us today for our live stream. We thought that we might come online. And I mean, hey, it's the second live stream for the year. We did one on the 1st of January. And Kirsty and I are going to talk about the Awaken Sleeping Dragon um, session that we're having for members on Sunday morning here on the channel. So we run this session every second Sunday of the month. We started it in December, by the way, if you didn't know that. And I will put the links in the description box for where you can join it. But we want to just tell you a little bit about what's going to happen in Awaken Sleeping Dragon in that session. And guys, when we did it last year, we did it in July. The first one was on the 7th of July, 7th of the 7th. And I remember it because it was that date and it was a synchronicity. And I thought what we need to do is basically we need to be able to offer that regularly for people that need support because the Awaken Sleeping Dragon sessions uh, were were specifically for people who are neurodivergent. That means people who are, uh, you know, said to be ADD, ADHD, hypersensitivity, dyslexic. Those people that have felt that they don't quite fit in on the planet and didn't understand why. But I believe they are the sleeping dragons because, well, that's me. I believe that. My feeling is that they have so much, or I'll say we are the sleeping dragons because I too am neurodivergent. And so we are the sleeping dragons on the planet. And it's quite a bold statement to say, as in, I believe that. Not everybody else has to believe that. But we are different in our thinking. And I think for the transformation process, that's what was necessary. People who thought out of the box, right? Because the programming was certainly not something that was going to be, um, uh, that was going to help us wake up. So I feel like to be neurologically different is what has changed the planet. And it's now becoming a thing. It's a norm. Well, not a norm because norm is again a program, but it's becoming a thing to be able to think out of the box, to say, oh, yeah, that's different. That's what's required, right? For us to go forward in our transformation process. So, Kirsty, I was just talking about us being sleeping dragons.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said, but I concur. No.
Yeah, I feel like, we neurodivergent people are different. We've not felt like we belong on this planet, and it's been a thing to fit in. But anyway, coming back to memberships. So, as I was saying that earlier, or a few minutes, seconds ago, that we started the live events in July. On the 7th of July, we did the first live event for anyone who was neurodivergent. But it's not just for people who are neurodivergent, it's also for those that have family members who are neurodivergent, just sort of giving you the support and understanding it better, giving you that bit of energy space, right? And so, membership because um, uh, the reason for it is that I've got to see if we're online because Zoom suddenly tells me the content is being sent to YouTube now.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know whether it cut out and it's back streaming or.
I
Mhm.
don't know. I'll just have a look, right, guys? Sorry. Yeah. So,
Technical
Kirsty, maybe you want to
difficulties.
say something to that. Um, what I was saying whilst I'm just checking this out. Sorry, guys. Uh,
I think it might have just been a glitch, but yeah.
yeah.
So the membership is really about making those deeper connections, more personal connections, and really supporting each other, and allowing that support in. I know for myself,
Yeah.
one of the things I found difficult in the past is to accept help and
Yes.
to believe that other people really do see me and they are willing to listen and they do get it. So if you're in that category, I'd love to see you here because we really do want to connect and support. And it's not about being the expert, it's about helping each other. So, yeah.
Yes, yes, indeed. And I just say hi to Craig. Craig is saying hello to us. Craig's watching, so thank you. He says it, yeah. Um, yes, it's streaming. Thank you for that, Craig. It's really good to hear that someone is watching, and then we know that we did. It just had this weird message, and I had to check it. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
notifications. And do you know what's really interesting? That I arrived late and I forgot we were live because I thought we were recording. And then the dogs are barking, and then there was a glitch with the internet.
yeah,
And it's all okay. It's funny because I was thinking about a theme for our next session with the Awakening Dragons. And one of the things that comes to me is this balance of kind of 3D focus and expansiveness. And often, as neurodivergent people, we're quite good at the expansiveness. And then the challenge can be in bringing that in to the physical, to these kind of feeling, these, kind of structures that feel a bit restricted in 3D life. And, we have so many ideas. And, and it's like,
yeah.
okay, so how am I actually going to bring that in and bring it through in a way that is satisfying creatively and also supports other people and the rise of the planet. Yeah. So
Mm, mm.
the focus. Mm.
Yeah, I like how you say that. I like how you express that because I just feel like it's saying those things that we are enlightened about is how we align and bring it into focus so that whatever that we've become enlightened about, because I think for me enlightenment is the theme this year, I believe. And whatever we are wanting that comes through to us that we need to share with the collective, that we actually are able to express it and act well to, and be active about it, but in a aligned way. Like it's almost like you have to cool your jets and sort of come down. And all those many thoughts going on in your head, you have to like, okay, so what is it? How do we like, what is it? How does it come together? Because quite often you can have all these thoughts and you can say, oh, I think I've got to do that, or I've got to do that. And I'm this is me. I'm one of those people that, um, I'm like that. And so I just feel like, yeah, no, I think that's a good theme for this next membership session that we're having on Sunday morning at 7 a.m. It is 7 a.m., right?
Hmm.
7 a.m. New Zealand time. Yeah, so, obviously, I feel like coming back to what we were talking about, like that last year we did this, and it just felt like this was for me, one of the things that kept coming back was the continuation of supporting people who are neurodivergent. It was important to say. It almost felt like, okay, so whilst we're not the experts, because I'm not an expert. I can tell you about my personal experience. I can tell you about other people's experience, like friends or family and all that, but I can't actually talk about it from a professional perspective. But life has been the teacher. Um, I just felt that we needed to keep going with that because we have a few neurodivergent friends that I know are struggling to stay grounded, that are struggling to understand sometimes what's going on in the mind and how to respond in that. And maybe struggling is not the best word, but just probably finding it a little bit, uh, but all out there need to sort of ground themselves. And we felt that I felt this was something that we should go on with because it was a good way to support the collective. I mean, it's becoming such a thing now that is there anyone that doesn't has not had interaction with somebody who is neurodivergent? Because everyone I know has, so it's out there where people are talking about it, but so how do we ground this? How do we support this?
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Because at some level, none of those kind of labels or categories matter, of course. But
exactly.
at the same
Exactly.
time, we're trying to live these very kind of seemingly physical lives. And
Yeah.
how do we do that with ease and grace and during this time of transition? Because we are transitioning into
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, exactly.
it sounds hokey, but a new world, and it really is. Like, if you can feel it that things are really, really shifting.
They are shifting, and I feel like it's
Mm,
the time for for us to come into our space because you know there's been times where people like have been undiagnosed, like especially like X generation and X generation people, and prior to that, undiagnosed and never understood their lives. That too was relative and relevant because it took millennials to come into the world and started to recognize that this is something that needs to be brought into the forefront and addressed and accepted as a way of life, that these are people having children that are neurodivergent and saying, well, hey, you know what, this is a thing and it's important. It seems like that generation had to really be the ones that were the forerunners to say this is accepted, this is how we live our lives, and we want to be parents to our children so that they can be themselves. And everything has been relative. Those of us that have struggled and been confused, that are of the previous generations, it's not been easy, but it's going through that's made this more important, coming forward and supporting anybody that's neurodivergent. We were obviously the ones to experience it but not understand it, and then you have the millennials that come and say, well, hey, there's the thing here, we need to understand it, we're not going to ignore it. And you know what, thank the universe for that, because but then it's all divinely orchestrated, and here we are. This is the time of anyone who's neurodivergent, whatever age you are, to come forward and say, hey, I went through that, I'm going through that, I don't understand that, but I start to see myself, and I start to see myself as that empowered being that came to the planet to do my purpose and to be okay about my purpose, no matter what anyone else says I need to love myself and be okay with who I am. Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Be yourself, and we all want to be the most thriving versions of ourselves. So, you know, people talk about co-occurring conditions or comorbidities. So if you have an experience of neurodivergence that comes along with things like anxiety and gut issues and so on and so forth, we were talking about acceptance. Obviously, there's always a degree of acceptance in any situation before we can transmute and transform it. But we don't really want that to be part of the experience. So we're not talking about, unwanted symptoms and stresses when we talk about being yourself. We want to minimize those, obviously, and, feel more into the empowered versions of ourselves who might still be quirky and um, visionary and all of those things. So we definitely want to minimize the effects of being overly sensitive. Often it's about being, very sensitive, and maintain the gifts of that. Yeah. So it's all
Yeah.
about that balance. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. I like that you
Of
said that. And
being in a body can be hard.
yeah, especially
Yeah.
if your being is so vast, if your higher self, especially if your intuitive self is so vast, and it's almost like you have to be contained in this body, which feels kind of, well, confining anyway. I wanted to come back to focusing what we're focusing on. We're focusing on the aspects of how being neurodivergent and being hypersensitive, how that's actually more a positive thing than a thing that how that becomes more like a platform of to see it differently. That's maybe what I want to say, to see it differently, because it's not a shortcoming. It's actually acceptance of self and saying, well, that's who I am, and okay, what do I do with this? How am I going to navigate my life because I've come here. I chose to be here. They say I have a soul contract to be here at this time. What is it that with all the stuff that I have that I think is a shortcoming, is actually a thing that's my strength, that I can contribute to the energy here, to the life here, to the collective here. More importantly, it's very important for us to look after self first. That's not being selfish. That's just saying, I I have to look after myself, because that then goes out to everything and everyone else that needs to receive that. And just being accepting and saying who I am is actually awesome, and it's okay. There's just a lot of misunderstanding about who I am, you know, and and being comfortable in that body of who you are, or in the life that you have. Not everyone's having a great time, yes, but we have the power to move on from that, and live every day, one day at a time, right?
Yeah, it can always shift, and it can shift very quickly at times. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So, Kirsty, one of the things I said was that we would do a little bit of an energy session, because I thought that it might be, I mean, it's a Friday morning in New Zealand. It might be a good way to, people watching, like Craig, for example, is in the UK, and it's their bedtime. And I just thought we might do something. Do you have I know what I was guided to do today, but is there something you want to do? And then we will close up with a light language transmission. Before we go, though, we will just reiterate that the membership session is on Sunday. It is at 7 a.m. New Zealand time. See what that means for you in terms of your time. And Kirsty has explained the focus of it. The session goes from about 1 hour, 15 minutes maximum. To register for it, I will put the link in the description box, right? And so people register for this, and it's actually buying a membership that you can join us every second Sunday of the month. And so it's a membership fee you pay, and through the month you can always contact us if there's anything happening that's urgent or whatever. And I mean, we're not saying that we're counselors or anything. We please understand, it's just saying, like, you get email support. If you email us, then we will say something back to you. It won't be
or
like,
it may inform what we do in the next session, because that's what it's
right.
all about. So what's current for
Exactly.
you? Let's
Yeah.
work with that. Let's discuss that. Let's
Yeah.
go with that.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you're going through something and then we think, oh, this might be something that we want to talk about, with not speak about who said it or whatever, but this might be the theme that we actually bring forward in the next month. It's just providing support, and that's the whole idea of it. So, Kirsty, anything else you want to say?
Not specifically. Should we go into a short process, shall we? Or
Yeah, go into a short process. I mean, you want to start it, and then I'll do the conclusion of it.
We'll just be quick. So just feeling your feet on the ground, if they're on the ground, or imagining them on the earth or in the sand. And we'll just take a moment here to join heaven and earth. So imagine that you're touching the bottoms of your feet, or you can physically reach down and touch them if you like. And simultaneously either placing a hand on your head, or just feeling it to be so, and just feeling into that connection down to the earth, up to the heavens, up to the heavens and down to earth. As above, so below. As within, so without. Allow yourself to feel the gift of this human lifetime here on Earth School. There are lessons and there is much beauty. Just feeling that. And then perhaps you'd like to join me in a short breathing exercise. We touched on this in our last session in the membership, so perhaps we'll just recap. These breathing exercises may be referred to sometimes as pranayama. It doesn't matter what you call them. They can be a very powerful way to quickly reset. So the way we'll do it is if you block off your right nostril with a finger or a thumb, you can't get it wrong. Breathing in through the left nostril for approximately a count of 4. Holding at the top for a count of 4. Then blocking your left nostril. Breathing out through the right nostril. Holding at the bottom. Breathing back in through that right nostril. Holding at the top. Blocking the right nostril. Breathing out through the left. One more round here. Breathing back in through the left nostril. Holding at the top. Blocking the left. Breathing out through the right nostril. Okay. And releasing, just breathing in and out. Breath is life. Knowing at any stage you can come back to that breathing as a quick reset through the day. The chambers in your nostrils helping with the ionization of your breath, bringing you energy and balance. And now, just before we hand over to Rose, dropping into the heart, more fully into the body. So placing a hand across the chest, placing the other hand vertically. Just really dropping in. Coming into the heart and feeling safe in your body. I am safe to be in this body. I am divinely loved. I am safe in this body. Time to be here and create. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is.
Thank you, Kirsty. And as we are in that energy of the breath, stay in that. Stay in the energy of the breath. Tiana na kutu forana kai motu Giro na kai oro hamatu arahatu rohan to Iro wakatsu hurna halechi oro hai to mokorana hai to forana hai to torna hai oro ayo Ia wa 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 ya na tora ma tora na kai O wa 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 ya Irama ko tu na kha tu rona kha tama tu ra kha e tama ko na kha tu lo ba kha tu lo kha tu hi ra kha tama I khorna kha ya na tu ra kha tu tu ra kha ra ke tu tu na kha te Iramaha, Uramaha, Iramaha, Tamahatur, Hatskura, Tramavi Tamata Jabata Tramavi Tramavi Bandhu Jasaka Tramavi Iramakotumormachai Tufaranachai Turamachau Tramavi Davidya Dravenam Tramivam Tramiva Sarvam Mama Diva Divam Tramavi Sarvam Mama Diva Divam Kiramakutu Faranaha Iramakutu Faranahai, Tumaranahai, Tuvaranahai, Tulumakam, Tramakurmahai, Tamakurmahai, Askuranahai, Toramahai, Tufarnahai. Sleeping, no more. Awakening dragons, now's your time to shine, now's your time to fly and be grounded and aligned at the same time. And so and as you felt yourself flying a little bit, time to return. Return to where you are. In your mind's eye. Take a deep breath. Aligning, feet firmly planted on the ground. Coming back. And as you feel the breath coming down your chakra column, all the way down your body, down into the ground, through your feet into the ground. And then growing those platinum and silver roots of the Earth Star chakra, grounding to Mother Earth. And as you come back, as it's available to you, coming back to consciousness, coming back to the room, consciously awakening, closing your eyes, and friends, I've tried to sing the Chamavida chant again. I was singing it so well in practice, and when we get into the mode, I can't do it. I don't. So I apologize.
Well, it sounded okay to me.
Okay. I was just like, I was meant to sing it 3 times, but I'm just like, I've just got to get more familiar with Sanskrit pronunciations. But anyway, thank you. I was asked to do it again. I'm being asked every day to sing this chant. And before we go, I want to say, I don't think people may not have all caught what the meaning of the Samavia Mata is what it means. It means you truly are my mother and you truly are my father. You truly are my relative and you truly are my friend. You truly are my knowledge and you truly are my wealth. You truly are my all, my God of gods, my universe of universes is what I'm going to say. And it's pretty beautiful.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Twamavia, Twamavi, it's Twamavia Mata, Twamavia Mata. And I'm saying it in other words. So apologies for anyone, because for whatever reason, my mind is not aligning when I'm in this energy space to the words of it. So I apologize. Because I don't want to upset people. Twamavia Mata, Twamavia. Mata. That's how it's supposed to be, but okay.
Yeah, okay. But that's
So,
okay because there's beauty in the collective consciousness of that original chant, and then there's also beauty in the energy that still comes through when you improv accidentally. So yeah,
yeah.
both are true. Both are true.
Both are true. Both are true. And I need to say this part. Now I know that it like people sometimes we said that I explained it in English, and I also want to say that sometimes it is the way it's said in Sanskrit, the translations because of I don't know the
Like
way
there's no direct translation.
there's no direct
Yeah.
translation because
Mm-hmm.
Sanskrit is so old anyway as a
Yeah.
language, right? The Twamaviya Mata mantra, this is the part that really is what I want to say when we sing this mantra. The Twamaviya Mata mantra is a beautiful mantra that uplifts the soul when it is troubled by the obstacles of reality.
Mm.
I love that. That's the part I really, really love. And I feel this is such a good thing for all of us in this time and space to be able to count on, to put the
Mm.
energy into our space, right? So thank you.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah, I
else
love that.
before?
The
Yeah,
essence of it.
thank
It's
you.
beautiful. Mm.
It's a
Mm.
lovely one, isn't it? It's the meaning is just universal. It's just such it's the meaning of the power of one, you know.
Mm.
Yeah. So, Kirsty, anything else from you before we go?
No. That's all.
That's all. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Short
yeah.
and sweet is how we want to be able to do some of these things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you feel called, of course, we'd love to see you. Otherwise, we'll see you on the channel anyway. So,
Yeah, we will
mm.
see you on the channel anyway. Friends, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to catching you on Sunday morning here with us. It is not a live event, obviously, because it's members, so it's only for members that sign up for it. So I'll put the link in the description box very shortly, because it's a live and I will go back and then put all the information in the description box. So just so you're aware. Thank you for joining us. Thank you,
Mm.
everyone. So much love to you, and have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are in the world, afternoon. We look forward to catching up with you again very soon. Namaste.